Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Transform with Joshua Armstrong, and I'm Joshua Armstrong, where we give you information and strategies that can help you transform your life, take it from where it is to where you want it to go. Today, we're going to talk about the principle of figuring it out. And I'm going to start by giving you a story, a parable from the Bible. Um, it's going to be in modern terms, um, so it's better understandable and you get a clearer picture of what the parable is all about. It talks about the parable of a master who gave his servant some talents or coins or gift, um, but then he came back and one servant doubled it, another servant doubled it, and one servant just kept what he have and hid it. So, but this is gonna be story gonna be in uh, contemporary terms and modern terms, so you get a better understanding of the story, and then we get more into the principle of figuring it out. Matter of fact, this story talks about figuring it out. Let's go. So, imagine a business owner who is preparing to leave for town for several months. Before leaving, he calls three employees into the office and says, I'm going to place some of my money and resources into your hands while I'm gone. To the first employee, he gives 5,000. To the second employee, he gives 2,000. To the third employee, he gives 1,000. He gives each person an amount based on what he believes they are capable of handling. Then he leaves. What stands out is that he does not give them a detailed step-by-step plan. He did not tell them exactly where to invest the money. He did not tell them what business idea to pursue. He does not tell them who to call, what to sell, or what strategy to use. He gives them the opportunity, the responsibility, and the resources, and then he expects them to figure out what to do with what they have been given. The first employee begins researching, asking questions, studying different opportunities, making careful decisions. Over time, he turns 5,000 into 10,000. The second employee do the same thing. He takes 2,000, puts it to work, and turns it into 4,000. But the third employee becomes afraid. He starts thinking about everything that could go wrong. What if I lose the money? What if I make the wrong decision? What if the owner is disappointed in me? So instead of learning, asking for guidance, trying something, and making an adjustment, he takes $1,000, puts it somewhere safe, and does nothing with it. Eventually, the business owner returns and calls the three employees back into his office. The first employee says, you gave me 5,000 and I figured out how to turn it into 10,000. The owner responds, excellent. You handled what I gave you well, so now I can trust you with more. The second employee says, you gave me 2,000 and I turned it into 4,000. The owner gives in the same response, excellent. You're responsible with that what I placed in your hand, so I'm going to give you the greater responsibility. Then the third employee comes forward and says, I was afraid. I did not want to lose what you gave me, so I kept it safe. Here's the same $1,000 you gave me. The owner is disappointed. The problem was not that the third employee received less than the others. The problem was that he did nothing with what he had. He allowed fear to stop him from learning, trying, growing, and figuring it out. This is the contemporary way of understanding the parable of the talents found in Matthew 25:14-30. Jesus told the story of a master who gave portions of his possessions to his servants and then left. Two of the servants figured out how to double what they were given. One servant buried what he received because he was afraid. The story teaches us a powerful principle. Life will sometimes give you resources, abilities, ideas. and opportunities without giving you complete instructions. At some point, you must figure out how to turn what you have into something greater. Now, there are some things in life that you're simply going to have to figure out. You're going to have teachers, coaches, friends, family members who can guide you. Matter of fact, teachers, you go to school and teachers are going to teach you. But when they give you the lesson and you don't have clarity or understand what you were learning, you're going to have to go back home and figure out how to understand it. That's what I did when I was in school. I struggled in math, and for years upon years, I was waiting for the teacher to say something so eloquent that until I get it. Until I realized that I will only get it if I go figure out how to get it. And I did. And that's when I went from a C student to an A student in a month. So, but ultimately, there came things you would have to work through and figure out. No, people will give you guidance, but there are always going to be things for you to know something. You have to actually learn and figure it out on your own. People will they can give you a blueprint, but there are going to be some little details that is specific to you alone that you will have to actually say, okay, how can I use this blueprint at the same time? Also apply it to my individual life and my individual situation. And that's where you want to still put the work into it and figure it out. Now, I'm going to tell you the joy of figuring it out. Let me tell you some joy. Some first point is this. Figuring it out builds your confidence. There's nothing like having an issue and then eventually figuring it out. And I'm going to tell you that you can. Why? Now, again, the Bible says, and it says, seek and you'll find. Knock and the door will open. Ask and you shall receive. So you can figure it out. You just got to be willing to keep seeking, keep knocking, and keep asking. But when you do, it's going to build so much confidence in your life. Look at this. There's nothing wrong with having a coach, teacher, mentor, or advisor. We all need people who can help us. But there's something powerful about figuring something out for yourself. When you work through a problem and learn what you need to learn, make the mistakes, because look at this, you're going to make mistakes. If you do anything new, if you do anything for the first time, you're going to make mistakes. That's okay. That's part of the journey. Mistakes is part of the learning process. But when you make mistake, identify the mistake and find out a course of action that can prevent you from making that mistake again. Make adjustments and finally find a solution. It builds your confidence. I'm telling you, there's nothing like knowing what you know. And once you know something, they can't take that word from you. For example, I used to be in the military, and one time we was having an inspection, and so we had to make sure all our equipment was like brand new. All our old equipment. Now, if you've been in the military, you know what I'm talking about, because when you get equipment, it's used equipment. But we had to make it like it's brand new, like everything gold, had to be black. So my supervisor gave us a week to get it done. And he said, if you can't get it done by Friday, you cannot go out go hang out and party on the weekends. And so all week long, I was working, trying to get my equipment cleaned up, make sure everything was black. And number one, I'm not a detail-oriented person to begin with. So every night I would go to my supervisor's room and show him my equipment. Something will be missing. Something would be still gold that's supposed to be black, and it still be gold. And I did that for like a whole week. And matter of fact, I went to his room on Friday night around like 7 o'clock, right before I can go out. And I still wasn't able, he said, No, you still missing something. You still miss a spot. I'm like, oh my gosh. I got upset. I went back to the room. I cried. I flipped my bed and I went to sleep. The next day I woke up. I said, hold on a second. How about this? I'm just going to go down to clothing sales and buy all new equipment. I did that. And guess what? I went to the clothing sales and bought all the equipment I had and then took it to my supervisor's room and said, here you go. He said, good job. I'm like, I wish I'd have known this 4 or 5 days ago. But look at this. After I figured that out, I said, hold on a second. Next time we have an inspection, I'll make sure I have one set of equipment for working and training, and I have another set of equipment just for inspections. So once you figure something out, you possess knowledge and experience that can help somebody else. You might be able to write a book. Matter of fact, people who write books are writing books based upon the stuff they figured out. Some of you can write a book right now because there's some things that you've actually figured out. You might be able to teach a class about it. You might be able to coach someone else through it. You might be able to create a business or service based on a solution you discovered. Many businesses, books, programs, and service exist because someone experienced a problem and figured out a solution and then helped other people solve that same problem. Your struggle can eventually become your strategy. That's good. That's good. Look at this. Your struggle can actually become your strategy. Your experience can become your expertise. What you figure out for yourself may become something you can serve or something or can be used to serve others. Matter of fact, one of the things, my son, he's very shy and bashful. And one of the things I want him to do is find out things he loves. So we have him do all types of things. We have him play basketball, even though he's not he's not that good at it, but we still have him go play so he can learn. And now he's good at shooting the ball, and I mean he's good at that, but he still need to learn the game of basketball. But we just have him do it, and I don't teach him. I teach him a little bit, but a lot of it he's going to have to just get in there and play the game and figure it out. And this past Wednesday, when I was at his game, I seen him. He went around, he got the ball, and he shot, and he hit it. I said he figured it out. I try to tell him what he should do, but until you're in there doing it, you really won't figure it out. But once you do, the sky's the limit. And matter of fact, he shot that shot a couple of times because he realized, okay, this the shot I need to shoot at. So, and there's nothing like having an issue, having a problem, and then figure it out. It will boost your self-confidence. And then you can pat yourself on your own shoulder and beat your own chest and say, you know what? This is what I'm good at. Number 2, figuring out one thing gives you hope that you can figure out the next thing. So look at this. When you figure out this one thing, it will give you hope and confidence that you can figure out this next thing. All it is another thing. So look at this. When you get to that next thing, just say to yourself, I know I can figure this out because I figured that out. Yes, that's good. That's good. Yes. See, look at this. Once I figure out how to write one book, I wrote another one. And I'm about to write me another one. So I wrote the book. Now my goal is to find out how to sell a lot of books. So once I figured that out, it's a wrap. So again, learning how to figure things out and getting comfortable with figuring things out, you'll be okay and confident of the next challenge you got. Because you know what? I'm not worried about it. I will figure this out. I will figure this out. So understand that when you figure out one thing, it gives you hope that you can figure out the next thing. So let me use some quick notes here. The next time you face something difficult, you can look back at it and say, I've been in a situation before where I did not know what to do, but I figured it out. That does not mean every problem will be easy. It does not mean you will immediately have every answer. It means you will have developed the confidence to believe that an answer can be found. You may not know how yet, but you can learn. You may not understand it yet, but you can study it. You may not have the right strategy yet, but you can keep adjusting it. And you will, if you keep working at it, if you keep seeking it, you will figure it out. Next point is this. Last point is this. You must choose what is worth figuring out. Matter of fact, we all choose what's worth figuring out. Yes, we do. Yes. Because guess what? This is why I kind of stopped having sympathy for people. Because we do what we want to do when we want to do it. When you really want to do something, you'll go figure it out. So you got to choose. You got to say, okay, is this worth me figuring out, and put your attention to that thing? Like for example, there's some people will try to figure out want to figure out or put their attention on trying to figure out how to change their brakes. I don't want to put my attention there. I want to put my attention and intention on figuring out how I can make more money so I can pay somebody else to change my brakes in my car. That's my goal. So the question is, what are you going to put your attention to figure out? And of course, it's going to take time. I have children, and there's some things I don't help them with. I say go figure it out. People pay people who are problem solvers. But at the same time, though, I've learned that even children, they go figure out the things that they want to figure out. So depending on what it is, if they ask me for their help, I'm not going to help them. I tell them, go figure it out. Matter of fact, my son just started bowling last year, and I really didn't help him. I didn't help him bowl. I just I put him in a bowling league, and he started bowling. And of course, the bowling league had a coach that helps him a long way, but he got to. I want him to develop independence, a confidence that he can actually figure things out. So he's not so much reliant upon people. Now, again, you still need people. And God is going to send you people. He's going to send you resources to give you guidance to the next step. But then you got to go and figure out and how to turn that thing that he gave you into what you actually want and like. And look at this once again. And the reason why you got to choose what's worth figuring out, because your time is limited, your energy is limited, your attention is valuable. Do not spend your life figuring out things that do not move you toward the future you want. You may choose to delegate certain responsibilities, hire professionals, or ask for assistance. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. But you must figure out something. You must determine which problems, which skills, which ideals, and opportunities are connected to the life that you want to build. Closing thought here is that you may need a teacher. You may need a coach. You might need a mentor, and you should have one. Figuring it out does not always mean doing everything alone. But those people cannot live your life for you. They cannot take every step for you. At some point, You must take what you've learned and apply it. The worst feeling is believing that the only way you can succeed is if a particular person helps you. That is not true. You're going to need somebody, but the people you think you need, you won't need. And I believe that when you go and try to figure something out, God is going to send the people that you need. That's going to give you guidance. So it is. Your success should not be completely dependent upon someone always being available to rescue you. Help is valuable, but the purpose of help should be to develop you, not to permanently disable your ability to move without it. The principle of figuring out is this. Life may not give you all the instructions, but it will often give you something to start with. Focus on it, learn about it, ask questions, try different approaches, seek wise guidance, make adjustments, stay with it. You may not have the answer right now, but if you keep at it, you will figure it out. Once again, thank you for watching my channel. If you like the content on this channel, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Share with a friend. So when we drop another video, you will get a notification. And once again, thank you for being with us, watching Transform with Joshuwa Armstrong. Talk to you soon.